सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ ईशावास्यम् इदं सर्वम् यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा गदः कस्य स्विद्धनम्। Īśā, Bhashkar explains, Ishte iti eat, the ruler, one who rules, one who lords over. Tena, Tritiya, third case, Īśā. The third case of eat is Īśā, okay, by the Lord. And who is this Īśā? Ishvara, Bhashkara says, Īśita Parameshvaraha Paramatma Saraswati. Parameshvara, the Supreme Lord, the highest Lord, the only Lord, and the Lord is Sarvasya Paramatma, is the very soul, very being, very self of every entity. Why he is the Paramatma? Why is Parameshvaraha? Because for Saha Sarvam Ishte. Ishvara rules everything, lords over everything. How does it Bhagavan Ishvara Ishte? How does Bhagavan rule? Is it like a ruler of some place, of some country, etc.? Rule with the iron hand or with the sword, etc.? No. Is it a physical action? No, here, not that way, because Ishvara does not undergo vikara, any change. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, in what way Sarvam Ishte? How does Ishvara become the Lord of everyone, everything? Here, as Sarva Jantunam Atmasan, being the very content, very Atma of all beings, Sarva Jantunam Atmasan. And by being the very Pratyagatma, the true self, inner self, Pratyagatmataya, being the Pratyagatma of all, therefore Ishvara is Sarvajantunam Atma, and thereby through that Ishte. That is to say that in the very presence of Lord, all the Maya, Shakti, the Niyatis, the order is at work, is in motion. Like even some place, like even in the very presence of the magnet, the very presence of magnet, the iron filing starts moving. Even though these are all limited examples, in the limited sense only. Like even in the presence of sun, all beings wake up in the morning and then go about their activity. As pointed out in the Kathopanishad, Yatha Ravihi Sarva Lokasya Chakshuhu, etc. Kathopanishad says, like even the sun becomes the eye, the light for all beings. So too, by being the very presence, being the very Chaitanya, very Adhishthanam, the very basis, the content of all, and in mere presence of Ishvara, everything gets governed by the very order. Ishvara's Maya, Ishvara's the order in which everything is governed. Thereby, Bhagavan becomes Ishvara. Here, we also understand that, we also know that Ishvara is the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, the one, the sole cause, Karanam, for this entire Prapancha, being the material cause as well as the intelligent cause. With reference to most of the objects that we see in the creation, the Nimitta Karanam is different, that is the creator is different, and the material, raw material or the material cause, Upadana Karanam, is different. Like in the case of pot or the cloth, the pot maker and the clay are different. Pot maker is the maker, potter is the maker, and clay is the material. They are distinct, they are different. This is true in most of the objects that we see. But with reference to this world, this creation, with reference to the creator, that is Ishvara, Ishvara is the creator as well as the material for this creation. This is the vision of the Vedas of Ishvara. Nowhere else we see this. As far as we know, nowhere else it is said. Ishvara is the, usually it is presented, Ishvara is presented as the maker alone, creator alone. And almost nothing is said of material. That is, what is the material? Right? What is the material cause? It is not mentioned. Usually it is not mentioned. We don't see. Some places it is said, created out of nothing, some places we see. Out of nothing we cannot take it, because out of nothing, nothing can come. From Shunyam, Shunyam alone can come. Nothing tangible can come. Shunyam is Tucham, totally non-existent. From non-existence, nothing can be made out of non-existence. Right? Therefore, out of nothing is not acceptable. That is not acceptable. But then the Vedas point out Ishvara is the Upadanam also, the material cause also. Being the material cause is very important here in understanding of Ishvara. The material is available, the material cause is available in the effect, in the product. Like even clay obtains as the pot. In pot, we can appreciate clay, the material cause. We don't have to go elsewhere to appreciate clay. In the very pot, the effect, we can appreciate the Karanam. And not only that, the Karanavastu, the material cause, pervades the entire Karyam effect. Again, like the clay pervades the entire pot. Therefore, anywhere, any part of pot we can appreciate, that is good enough for us to appreciate clay. Even a broken pot, say, the shards of a pot, the pieces of a broken pot, even that is good enough to appreciate what is the material cause. The material cause obtains in and through the effect. There is no part of the effect, right? The karya wherein there is no karanavastu. Inside, outside, up and down, anywhere you appreciate, you can see the clay. Similarly, in this creation, to appreciate Ishvara, we need not go anywhere. Any aspect of this creation reveals Ishvara, stands to reveal Ishvara. So Ishvara can appreciate in all entities, all beings, any entity as we choose, as we like. So in mountain, in the hills, in the trees, in the river, in water, in sun, in all beings, in the heart, in our thoughts, right? In our feelings, in our emotions. The very Upadana Karanam is Ishvara. So, therefore, this facilitates us the real appreciation of Ishvara as the being all, the truth of all. This is unique vision. Nowhere else we see this. Ishvara is everywhere as the truth of everything, as the truth of you, as the truth of me, as the truth of my thought, my feeling, my perception, etc. So, pratyagatmataya, Bhashyakara, pratyagatmataya sarva jantunam atmasan sahahi ishte. Ishvara is the ruler, the Lord, as being the innermost self, the truth of the self, and therefore being the Atma of all. Okay. So further, Tena Svena Rupena Atmana Īśāvāsyam Acchādaniyam. Tritiya Īśāvāsyam. The Isha is there. Bhashyakara explains the third case. Tena Svena Rupena. By one's own real nature, true nature. And what is the one's true nature? Atmana. By being the very self. Right? By that Atma, by being the self, Atmana. And that is the meaning of Isha here. Isha is not merely the Lord, but also the very self. So Bhashyakara indicates that Isha does not merely refer to Ishvara alone. Ishvara also means the Pratyagatma, the self of all, being the higher self, the truer self, true nature. Chaitanyena, Swarupena, Svena, Rupena, by one's own real nature, that is Atma, by that Atma, by Ishvara. Then, this is the meaning of Isha. Okay. Covered by Ishvara, covered by Atma, Bhashyakara says. Vasyam means Acchadaniyam. This Vasyam word comes from Dhatu, Vasa, Acchādane. This is the Paniniya Dhatu Patha. The list of Dhatus, the roots, we have this Vasa Acchādane. The root Vas is used in the sense of covering, Acchādana, covering. Okay. And the form of this Vas is Vasyam. Okay. The second Gana, Adadi Gana root, Vasa Acchādane. Vaste, Vasate, Vasate, etc. Atmanepada Dhatu. Vasyam means Acchadaniyam, to be covered. Okay. What is this covering here? Something. What is to be covered is going to say, the mantra is going to say. By Ishvara may be covered. May all this be covered. What is covering here? Bhashyakara will explain. We will see that. Achadaniyam, to be covered. Now, by Ishvara, this is to be covered. Okay. And what is to be covered? Bhashyakara asks, Kim? What is to be covered? Achadaniyam. Kim achadaniyam. What is to be covered here? Says here, Idam sarvam yadkincha yadkinchit jagatyam prithivyam jagat idam sarvam, all this. This, the word this refers to anubhuyamanam, what is being experienced, and drishyamanam, what is perceived, what is seen. All that is vyavahara, arham, all that is part of the relative world, the world of transactions, interactions, all this. All that is here, sthulam, gross, and sukshmam, subtle, known, jnatam, and also unknown, ajnatam. What is there now, presently, and what was there in the past, what is going to be there, whatever that is going to be there in the future, all that. In the whatever is there, the infinite space, the infinite time, including the infinite space and time, idam sarvam. Anything that becomes known, the object of consciousness, object that is being known, that is experienced, that we relate with, idam sarvam, known and unknown, aihika and amushmika, herein and hereafter. This is all the idam sarvam. Inert, right? Inert being jadavastu, inert also, and then chetanam also, sentient also. All this idam sarvam, without any exception whatsoever. Nothing is left out in this idam sarvam. Okay? Idam sarvam. What is the idam sarvam? Yat kincha, whatever that is there. That is explained as yat kinchit. Yat kincha means yat kinchit, whatever that is there. All that is to be covered. Where is it there? Jagatyam. Jagati. The ikaranta strilinga shabda. Seventh case singular is Jagatyam, meaning Bhashyakara says Prithivyam, on this earth, Prithivyam. Whatever that is there on this earth, on this, in this world, earth means this world, whatever is there in this world, in this universe. Okay. What we know in the universe is very little, obviously. What we see also, we know very little about what we see, what we interact with. It may be very intimate, right? Every day we interact with it, we relate with it, yet we know very little of it. As they say, beauty is skin deep, they say. Right? Only the skin level only there is beauty. Inside, it's all unbearable sight. Okay, the skin is out, then becomes unbearable to see. Can't see. Our own body we can't support to, we can't see. Beauty is skin deep, they say. And we can more safely say our knowledge is only skin deep, okay, of anything for that matter. Even our knowledge of skin is skin deep only. Right? We don't know about the skin also, we don't know much. Even about the skin, we don't know much. Our knowledge of skin itself is skin deep, okay. Very thin, very little we know. What we don't know is always infinitely vast. Okay? What we don't know is always vast. We don't know all the details. We don't know how it was there in the past, how it is going to be there in the future, etc. We do not know. Only an all-knowing, omniscient upadhi, that is Maya upadhi, Ishvara alone is all-knowing. We are only alpajna, we only very little. Okay. And we manage with it. What we know, we manage with it. Okay. Perhaps that is good enough for running the show, our life show. Perhaps what we know is enough. Perhaps we may have to know something, yes. But then, All that we know, all that the individual, each of us, right, knows, all of it put together, it's only tiny, a speck compared to what is there, the vast creation. And if we put together all our knowledges, still it becomes only a speck only. All our collective knowledge put together is only a tiny, very, very tiny part of what really is. So vast is the creation. And therefore, in this Prithvi, in this world, whatever is there, we know only very little, but we don't know what is there, we don't know. Leave alone our knowledge of other things, other people, other beings. Our knowledge of ourselves is also very, very negligible. What we know about ourselves is very little. We don't know. I don't know what's happening inside. I don't know. I only say, my heart is beating, love, it's beating. Okay. That doesn't explain what is happening there really. It doesn't explain fully. And then I say my eyes see. I am seeing. Okay. Then how does seeing take place? I don't know really. No, there is a lens here and then light passes through a lens and it falls on the retina and then it's focused on the retina. There's a point in the retina and then there are nerve endings, sensitivity there, and then there's a fiber, optic fiber is there. Right? Something is there, nerve is there, and then takes to the brain, etc. It's only a very poor explanation of what really happens there. It does not explain everything. It does not explain everything. We don't know what really happens when we see. How seeing happens, we really do not know. The complete process of seeing, we really do not know. When I say we, not only us, ordinary people, even the ophthalmologist, optician, etc., whoever it is, optometric, physician, physicist, whoever it is there, they also don't know only. Okay. So vast is the creation. What we know is very little. Always what we know is very little. In Tamil there is a saying, proverb, what we know is like what we can hold with our hands. Okay? And what we don't know is like the infinite vast ocean. Like that's the saying. What we know is very little. But then, alright, what we know is good enough to indicate the infinite. Right? The finite is a good enough indication for the infinite. Like even to taste the water in the ocean, we just taste a drop of water, that is good enough. No? We have tasted a drop of ocean water, we have tasted the ocean water, ocean itself. That's how ocean tastes, more or less. We wet our feet, in the beach, in the sea wavelet, and then we say, I have touched the ocean. Okay. I have touched a very infinitesimal small part of ocean, but I say I touched the ocean. Space, I have touched the space. Okay. Space cannot be touched, still I know space. So this is the beauty. The small is good enough to appreciate the vast. Okay. In Tamil again there is a saying that, like even when they cook rice, and to see whether the rice is cooked, what does the mother do? She takes out one rice grain and then takes it, whether it is cooked properly. If one grain is cooked, then the whole part of rice is cooked. You don't have to take every grain and then see whether it is cooked, right? Take just one grain and then you see it is cooked, then the whole part of rice is cooked. So too, we appreciate Ishvara in one, then we can appreciate Ishvara in everything. This is the beauty, this is the grandeur of this. So every blessed thing in this universe serves as a window, as a gateway to our understanding of Ishvara, the infinite. So the finite serves as the window for knowledge, for our understanding of the infinite. In one of the well-known books, novels, Moby Dick, okay? There is a book called Moby Dick. just a imaginary story, fictitious story, wherein it's about a group of sailors and then go for hunting for the whale. The whale is called Moby Dick. They give the name Moby Dick to the whale, etc. And then this fellow has been eluding, Moby Dick has been eluding, and also has been the whale, giant whale it is. So it even attacks certain boats, etc. And then these people, the sailors, want to catch the Moby Dick. Okay. And then the hero is Ishmael. Okay, call me Ishmael. Okay. That's how the book begins. And then in one of the incidents there, one fellow says, one sailor says, "What is it all there? I am sitting here and watching the ocean, and then there's nothing else is there. The world is so vast, okay, so huge. I want to see the world," the fellow says. And then another fellow says, "You want to see the world? Come on." Takes him to the window and then throws the window open and says, "Look, this is the world, okay? This is the world. What you see through the window is the world. Do you think this is not the world? You are not seeing the world, okay? That's the problem. The world is there always. You are not seeing it." So very illustratively. So what you see through the window is the world. What is there? There is something, definitely something more, but then this is also the world. If you don't see this, how are you going to see when you are going to see the other world, other part of the world? What is there you don't see. What you see now you don't appreciate. How are you going to appreciate when something else is going to come? Okay. So if I do not appreciate the infinite in the finite now, when am I going to appreciate? Where am I going to appreciate? By going to special places? There also I will miss. Okay. If I miss here, I will be a miss. I will be ever miss. Okay. I will be miss. So again in Tamil there is a proverb. No? If the fellow says, I want to reach Vaikunta, the heavens I want to reach. I want to go to the heavens. I will climb up the heavens. I will climb up the skies, and then I will reach Vaikunta. Okay. Can you accomplish simple things in life first? Right? Can you? There is a rooster. There is a rooster sitting on the roof. Okay. Just can you climb the roof and catch the rooster? You can't. You can't do the simple thing. How are you going to accomplish the great things? No, it's not a rule. One will catch the rooster alone will catch Vaikunta. That's not the rule here. The point is this: if you miss the obvious, if you miss what is there now, how are you going to appreciate when it comes? When it comes. Suppose I don't appreciate the Lord Ishvara in mundane things, seemingly mundane things. How am I going to appreciate the Lord in its vastness, in its infinity, in its grandeur? How am I going to appreciate? Even if suppose Lord was to come appear in front of me, Shanmukha, like 12 hands and 6 faces. No, suppose I am a devotee of Lord Kartik, okay? Kartikeya, Shanmukha, and then suppose I pray, and then Shanmukha decides to grace me, bless me with the darshan, okay? With this vision. Okay. Suppose Shanmukha appears before the individual, the fellow may not think, you look nice, you look very much like, you look very much like Shanmukha, Kartikeya. I suppose it's a nice get-up, okay? Nice makeup you have. Which drama troupe you belong to? This fellow looks upon everything as a drama get-up only, okay? A makeup only. Even if Shanmukha comes, fellow says, which drama troupe you belong to? In fact, look, we act very much like Shanmukha. Very nice. Nice man, okay? Okay. I will miss, the fellow will miss it. Therefore, we learn to appreciate the infinity, the infinite in the finite. The finite is the doorway to appreciate the infinity. So Bhashyakara says, Yatkincha, whatever is there, Yatkinchit, whatever is there in this world, and all this has to be covered. Achadaniyam. Okay. Jagat Tat Sarvam. Tat Sarvam Achadani. All that is to be covered by Ishvara. What is this covering? What is this covering by Ishvara? Is it Ishvara like a blanket? The world is like a table, and then the Ishvara is like a tablecloth. Like, I cover this table is covered with a tablecloth. Okay, take a tablecloth and then cover the tabletop. Similarly, the whole world cover with Ishvara. What is covering? What is the covering by Ishvara? Bhashyakara says here, Svena Atmana Īśēna Pratyagatmataya Ahameva idam sarvam iti Paramartha Satya Rupena Anritam idam sarvam Characharam Achhadaniyam Svena Paramatmana. Here the covering is not a physical covering. You don't cover the world with Ishvara. It's not a physical act here. So Vasyam, to be covered, should be covered. It's like a rule, okay? Do this. Cover the entire thing by Ishvara. Like cover the pillow with the pillowcase, okay? That's an action. But here, is it an action covering entire world by Ishvara? Is Ishvara can be handled by me, so like a sheet to cover this entire world? No, there is not a physical rule here. Here, in terms of understanding, may the individual, may we cover the entire world as the truth of which is Ishvara. The truth of all this is Ishvara. And all this is Nama Rupa, Anritam. Bhashyakara points out, all these are all Anritam. The truth of it is Ishvara alone. These objects that we see and the individuals that we are, the truth of us is only Ishvara. One and only Ishvara, Atma, Brahma. That was here. Svena, Atmana, by one's own self. And that is the Ishvara. Therefore, Īśēna, Svena, Atmana idam achhadaniyam. What is the Atmana? What is the covering here? Pratyagatmataya. Being the Pratyagatma of all, being the inner self, the true self of all. And being the self of all, what is the covering? The vision, that understand. Bhashyakara says, Ahameva idam sarvam. Idam sarvam, all that is here, all that is there is only me. Ahameva, I am alone. I alone am all this. I am all this. Nothing is other than me. I am the truth of everything. I am everything. Ahameva idam sarvam. Here, how can this idam sarvam be me? Here, it is not a vachyartha of idam sarvam, nor the vachyartha of aham. We have to take the lakshyartha here. Sarvam idam sarvam. The truth of all this is lakshyartha. What is the truth of all this? Is Brahma, Ishvara, Brahma, Paramatma, Brahma. So like the truth of clay, truth of the pot we can say clay. And the truth of clay you can say is the clay particle. And the truth of each particle is a molecule. And the truth of each molecule, atom. The truth of atom is electron, proton, etc. Whatever. We can go on looking in further and further into Karana, and then Karanasya Karana, and then Karanasya Karana, Karanasya Karana, etc. We can up to a level we can go, and then after further than that we can do in terms of our understanding. We don't have means to go beyond electron, etc. We do not have proper mean. But then still, what is the cause of an electron? Something. And what is the cause of something else. So, where do we end? What is the Where do we end this Karana, Karanasya Karana? All that ends in only the Sat Brahma. Sat Brahma. Right? The very existence, very truth. We cannot think of any other name for it. The existence, Sat alone is the unqualified existence, unlimited existence, unconditioned existence. That is Sat Brahma. And that is limitless. As the Chandogya Upanishad says, Sadeva Soumya Somidam Agrasit Ekameva Advitiyam, one and only one, non-dual, limitless, infinite. And all existence is because of this Sat only. The table is because of Sat Brahma. And the individual, I, the user of the table, I am because of Brahma, Sat Brahma. And my perception, my seeing the table, touching the table is because of Sat Brahma, Chit Atma. And the seer, seeing all that is there, the feeling, the knowing, the ignorance, the clarity, the confusion, etc. Everything is there, the happiness, the sadness, all that is there because of Sat Brahma, Chit Atma only. And that is the meaning of the Lakshyartha, the indicated meaning of this, all that is Idam Sarvam. In this, we discount the Nama Rupa Amsha, Nama Rupa and function, etc., utility, usefulness, all this we discount. Like even when we are looking into the truth of the pot, we discount the shape, right? What is the shape of the pot? What is the color of the pot? What is the weight of the pot? What is the pot useful for? What is it used for? To keep flowers or to keep water? Right? Or as just a showpiece? What is it used for? We discount all that, and then discounting all these, relative features, and what really does not, these two do not constitute the essence of pot. Right? The shape of the pot is not the essence of the pot, essential nature of the pot. And its usefulness is not the essential nature. But what is it that? No, it is only clay. The clay is the essential nature of the pot. Minus usefulness, a pot can be, but minus clay, no pot. Okay? So clay is the essential nature of pot. So here we discount the inconsequential, right, non-essential aspects of the pot, and the essential element is only clay. Similarly, in Idam Sarvam and all these, if we discount in our understanding through our enquiry, we discount all the Nama, Rupa, Karma. Karma here stands for its utility, its function, it's all that we discount. Then what remains is the unnegatable Sat Brahma, Chit Atma. So with reference to the world of objects, we discount all the Nama Rupa Upadhi, then we arrive at the pure, unconditional, infinite Sat alone, which is called as Brahma, the infinite, the big one, the infinitely big one, Brahma, the truth. And when we come to ourselves, the individual who experiences, perceive, interact, etc., the truth of us is Chit Atma Chaitanyam. The truth of the world of objects is Sat Brahma, and the truth of the individual is Chit Atma, Chaitanya Atma. And this Chit is Sat. Without Chit being Sat, okay? There is no Chit without being Sat. Being, right? To be, right? To be a seer, I have to be, okay? To be a feeler, to be a thinker, to be a knower, to be an experiencer, I have to be. Therefore, Chit Atma is verily Sat Brahma. This is also pointed out by the Shastra, Upanishad. So, idam sarvam ahameva. All this Brahma, the truth of all is Brahma, and the truth of me is Atma, right? And this Atma is Brahma. That is ahameva idam sarvam. Therefore, I am everything. I am not everything in the light of the Nama Rupa, names and forms, the distinctions. In all this belong to the body and the mind, the Upadhi. These are all the Upadhi, body and mind, the Upadhi. And all distinctions belong to Upadhi in the light of the Upadhi alone. Minus the Upadhi, there is no dividing feature, and therefore there is only one. Like even in a world of clay pots, right? If we discount all the forms, shapes, and then weight, color, usefulness, etc., when they were made, who made them all, etc., if we discount all the inconsequential features, inconsequential in the light of the truth of the pot, okay? They do not constitute the essence of the pot. So, non-essential features of the pot, if we discount of all the parts, what remains is only clay, the truth. So too, here, discount all the non-essential features, then there is only Chidatma, Sadatma alone. The problem with the human being is, usually, the individual pays attention to the non-essentials alone. We take ourselves to be merely a thinker, feeler, experiencer, happy, unhappy, confused, clear, alone, depressed, elated. We take ourselves to be the non-essential entity alone we take. So we are so busily occupied, so preoccupied with our focus on the non-essential all the time, for the most of the time. We focus on our non-essential feature only, our height, our weight, okay. We worry too much only about non-essential. Our focus on non-essential only. In our preoccupation with the non-essential, we forget to think about what is the essential feature, what is the essential nature of ourselves in our preoccupation. Okay? So, when a time comes for us to sit back and then look at ourselves, what is the essential me? That is the Chaitanya. I am just the Sakshi, Kutastha, Chaitanya alone. I am the invariable presence. I am the invariable presence, invariable consciousness I am. The word consciousness is not to be confused with the popular usage of this word. So body consciousness, health consciousness, environment consciousness, political consciousness, social consciousness, right? That is only awareness in the transactional field. In the field of all the transaction relative, the word is used, body consciousness, etc. But here, that is not the meaning here. The consciousness is not any ordinary sense it is not used, but it is used to indicate the very core, the very content, the very nature, the self-revealing, self-existing I, the invariable I, the limitless I, the ever free. Being limitless, I am ever free. The limitless is always free. Okay? That is, the infinite is always free, totally free, unconditionally free. And therefore I am unconditionally happy, peaceful. I am the very truth of peace. I am the peace. Therefore, the Upanishad urges the individual to pay attention to the essential nature, the true nature of oneself. So, Deliberately we discount the Nama Rupa. We keep the Nama Rupa aspect only in its scope of transaction alone. Nama Rupa is a transaction, that's all. Relative Vyavaharika, that is all. We don't carry the Vyavaharika further into the truth. Namarupa does not constitute as the truth. Maybe in the Vyavaharika plane it is true, relatively true, yes. But we don't carry what Vyavaharika into this Paramarthika, the really real. Vyavaharika is apparently real, seemingly real, relatively real, yes. Real within a context, within a framework, it counts as real. But minus the context, minus the framework, minus the paradigm, it is only apparent, it is not really real. The really real is the Paramarthika. The Upanishad urges the individual to pay attention to the truly true, really real. And what is it that? The invariable, limitless, conditional Chaitanya consciousness that I am. And when one learns to appreciate this aspect, this nature of oneself, then all the limitations, divisions are understood as being in the light of only the Nama Rupa, the Upadhi alone. Seen as individuals, you and I are different. You are different, I am different. Your hunger is your hunger, my thirst is my thirst, right? Your happiness is your happiness, my sadness is my sadness, your headache is not mine, all in the realm of, in the respect to the Upadhi alone. And this is not the essential nature of me or you. So, if I focus only on the Upadhi alone, these variables alone, then I am limited, you are limited, I am a samsari, I can never escape from the clutch of samsara, the seemingly never-ending, limited existence. As long as I focus only on Nama Rupa. But fortunately, I try to discover the freedom from samsara, freedom within, I try to discover. And for me, the Upanishad points out that may you focus on the invariable you. Don't just stay with the variable you, just try to look at the invariable you. The invariable you is the Chaitanya consciousness, the Kutastha, Sakshi, Atma alone. And in the light of that appreciation, you are the truth of everything. There is no limiting factor, right? Really, there is no limitation. Seemingly, there is limitation, and that is only in the light of Upadhi. And when you understand your true nature, when you try to look at yourself, you see that Ahameva idam sarvam, I am the truth of everything. And since I am the truth of everything, when I try to understand, as I keep understanding, then I am everything, then there is nothing which I have to get to be happy, which I have to be rid of to be happy, to be free from sadness. There is nothing which I have to acquire, I have to reject. Okay? I have to accept or reject. There is nothing for happiness, for satisfaction, for peace, for being peaceful. There is nothing I need to accept or reject. Right? Heya upadeya varjitam, free from what is to be acquired and what is to be given up. Heya, what is to be given up. And upadeya, what is to be acquired. I am free from all these conditionalities. In order for me to discover myself as the abiding, happy, true entity, I don't have to get something or get rid of something. Be different. I don't have to be. Bodily, yes. In the terms of mind, yes. I have to be different, yes. In terms of behavior, in terms of my response, in terms of my thinking, outlook, yes, I may have to be different. But then, in terms of my true nature, cannot be different. I am myself. Okay? We should not misunderstand this. What I am okay. No. What is the meaning of what I am okay? What is the meaning of I am okay? What do we mean by this I here? Do we refer to our body, our mind, our behavior, our understanding, our value structure, our outlook? In the light of it, I am not okay. Okay? I am not okay. So, what is the meaning we impute to I am okay? Here, I am okay only is possible only in the light of the essential nature of me. I am okay. Not necessarily in the light of one's own mind, okay, one's own body, etc. One may have defects, one may have limitations, one may have to improve oneself. Okay, therefore, I am okay has to be seen in proper light. I am okay means the truth of me, essential me, in that light of it, I am fine, yes, because I am the ever unchanging, ever free, ever limitless and unconditionally free. Therefore, I am okay in the light of my true nature, not in the light of the mind. Okay, the mind. Mind has to be tuned, has to be worked with, worked upon. Okay, has to be improved. Therefore, here, when we look at our true nature, then we can appreciate Ahameva idam sarvam. I am the truth of everything, and therefore I am ever essentially free. When I am something, there is nothing which I need to hate. Okay, there is nothing worthy of hating, because I am the truth of everything. Hatred pertains to the mind, the limited mind, the mind in its ignorance. Hatred occurs there. Anger only in the limited mind, the ignorant entity alone. So, when I am enlightened, that is say that I understand, I appreciate my true nature, that is the enlightenment. Okay? Not a halo behind my head. Not the aura, right? Aura needs to be corrected. Aura may need to be corrected. Yes, maybe. Yes. Aura correction. There are people who do this aura correction and all that. Yeah, it helps. It helps definitely. It helps them. Yeah. If not actually, at least in terms of their feeling, it helps. Fine, it helps. Yes. But then here it is not developing an aura, etc. The enlightenment is only understanding, appreciating oneself in one's own true nature. That is the enlightenment. And abiding in it, that is the enlightenment. That is the liberation. That is the freedom. Okay. Therefore, when I look at myself and I understand myself from my true nature, then I am the truth of everything. There is nothing to be. In order for me to discover, to be the happy self, ever free self, there is nothing to be acquired, to be gotten rid of. There is nothing to be liked, nothing to be hated. There is nothing. Because I am everything, I am the limitless, I am the truth, and therefore, Ahameva idam sarvam. It comes in one place in the Taittiriya Upanishad, then, no, not in that. No, Vamadeva, Rishi Vamadeva is mentioned. Yeah, I don't remember whether it is which Upanishad, I don't exactly remember. Not sure whether it is Chandogya or Briharanyaka, not very sure about that. I forget. Okay. There, Rishi Vamadeva says, Vamadeva, the Rishi, great seer, says, even as he was in the mother's womb, in his mother's womb, he was he was enlightened, he knew the truth, and he says, Vamadeva says, Aham Manuhu Abhavam. I was the Manu at all times. Whatever the Manu was there, I am the Manu. I was the Manu. I am the Manu. And Suryaha cha, I am the Surya also. Adhyatma I am. Adidaiva I am. Adhibhuta I am. That is it. I am the Manu means Adhyatma I am. With reference to individuals, no, I am the truth of all individuals. And I am the Surya also, the Adidaiva, the divinities, all the divinities, divine features, etc., divine phenomena, divine entities. I am the truth of all Adidaiva. And Adhibhuta, I am the truth of all. Adhibhuta, Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adidaiva, I am the truth of all, Manu says. And also in the Taittiriya, there is this Anuvaka. Aham vrikshasya reriva, kirtif prishtangireriva, urdhamulam pavitra, etc. It goes right. So I am the vrikshasya reriva. I am like the main root of that tree. I am like the very root of the tree, of this universe. Compared to a tree, then I am the root of this tree. The tree is because of the root, okay? So, I am like the root. Aham vrikshasya reriva. So, Taittiriya we see. I am the truth of everything. This discovery of one's true nature is the releasing. What releases one from the notion of smallness, wanting, unhappiness, hurt, etc. So, ahameva idam sarvam bhashyakara. Pratyagatmataya, being the Pratyagatma of all, I am the truth of all, iti paramartha satya rupena, by the true nature. Anritam idam sarvam, all that is here, that is anritam. Not the really real, but only the apparently real, seemingly real, relatively real, that's all. Anritam idam sarvam. What is the anritam? Characharam, Bhashyakara, characharam. Charam cha, acharam cha. Charam, moving. Acharam, non-moving. All that is moving and non-moving. There are stationary objects, there are moving objects, there are things. Like even most of the living beings, no, they are moving, they move. Like human beings and animals, they move. And also Surya, Chandra, the planets, etc., atom, that's all, they move. All that is moving. And mind moving all the time. Thoughts moving, flow is there. Feelings move, right? Changing is there. So all that is moving. Charam. And acharam also, non-moving also. Like the table usually does not, unless we move it, the table remains in this place. So non-moving. Inert objects usually do not move. Cannot say that. Non-moving object, non-moving, that's all. And trees also stand in one place, plants stand in one place. In as much as they stand in one place, we can call them as non-moving, but not strictly, because we can transplant trees also. That's also nowadays we do. Transplantation is there, right? And also the trees also move. Therefore, all that is here, that is moving and non-moving, charachara, living and non-living, characharam. And all that is to be achadaniyam, to be covered. Svena, paramatmana, by oneself, who is the Paramatma. Okay, Paramatmana svena achadaniyam. Now, is this exposed now, not covered now? All the world, idam sarvam, is not covered by something, but it has to be covered now, right? Ishvarena achadaniyam, all this is to be covered by Ishvara. When we say this, again we have to see, but then Bhashyakara has pointed out Ishvara buddhya. Ishvarena achadaniyam means Ishvara buddhya achadaniyam, by the appreciation of Ishvara, by the understanding of what is Ishvara, all this is to be covered. What is the understanding here? Ahameva idam sarvam. I am the Pratyagatma, which is Paramatma, which is Parameshvara, and this Ahameva idam sarvam, this is the covering. This is, I am everything, this is the covering, right? So, here this is not a physical act of covering, but it is in terms of understanding, owning. Cover everything by Ishvara means cover everything by the understanding of Ishvara. Ishvara Jnanena, Ishvara Buddhya. By the Ishvara understanding, everything is to be covered. Already it is all covered, right? Everything is covered by Ishvara only, right? But what is this covering necessary? Is it why it said Vasyam? It is to be covered. It's something we cover usually what is not covered already only, right? Suppose the table has a cloth already. Now we don't say cover the table with a cloth. It's already covered, right? The table is not covered by a cloth, then we can say cover the table with a cloth. No, it's meaningful. But Ishvara pervades everything as the truth of everything. What is the Achadaniyam here? Why it has to be covered? Vasyam it is said. Bhashyakara points out, it is now seemingly not covered. Seemingly it is not covered and therefore to be covered. He gives a very pertinent example here, very often quoted example. He cites it, Yatha Chandana Agarwadi, etc. He covered a very beautiful example. We will continue this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.